Hey there, and welcome back to Cursed Seeds, an educational monster train series where we struggle through the toughest challenges around. I was told for this submission, which I have essentially randomized, that they won by the skin of their teeth at 1 pyre health, but they're convinced that has to be a better way. So it's an interesting cursed seed in that they didn't lose, and you can see this here. So they didn't lose, but they mega struggled. This looks like an absolute nightmare, right? 47k score means that they made a I don't want to say made mistakes. They took a lot of pyre damage in all of the critical combats. So Seraph and Divinity, this is very low scoring for a Divinity clear, right? And I'm not terribly surprised that this struggled a lot, right? I mean, look at this. You have Sentient, you have Primitive Mold. If you miss all of the good offensive lines in Melting, you don't really have a lot here. So we'll struggle through it and try our hardest, but yeah. In case you have no idea what's happening, first, welcome. The idea behind this series is that I am playing viewer-submitted runs of Covenant 25 Monster Train, the video game. These can be blessed or cursed. Blessed in that they feel very strong and it's easy to navigate to a victory. Cursed in that you have no idea how to win and you're looking for assistance in how to run these setups. So you've got a few options. Obviously, then you can go to the Generate Challenge button on the run summary of your run history, and you will be able to generate me a 3-word combo similar to what's here in the top of the screen, and I will play it for you on the channel. I am randomizing through my list a little bit here in order to create a more compelling viewer experience, so hopefully that's good. Today, this is Sentient and Primitive Mold, which is an interesting choice. Very weak early. I could see this struggling and then failing to snowball. So we will give it our best. We're currently on a 12-win streak. We had an accidental second Imp high roll in a row with Deranged Brute and Fledgling Imp. It was a blessed seat, in case you couldn't tell. We did at least have Spike's Fade minigame for fun times in there, but alas, she was not the core component of the run. She did matter, though. She mattered. Give her some credit. But yeah, I think that's everything I've got for you. So as always, do remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And let's see. This is the second day in a row I'm playing Sentient. I maybe should have planned that better. I didn't even think about it. Oh well, I'm already doing the intro. It's fine. We're 3 minutes in. We're going to go ahead and get started. So yeah, let's get this run on the road. All right, hope you're all doing well today. I'm doing fine, trying to get some recording in at 1 p.m. on a Sunday. You'd love to see it. And yeah, I don't really have much to report, so I go ahead and get started. Hope you're all doing well. And yeah, today we are Default Awoken, Exile Melting. It's a good clan combo, right? I like the primitive molds here. I think they add a lot of value. Of course, the challenge here is you're relying on seeing something from Melting that provides offensive scaling, right? I think I actually played a very similar clan combo. Yeah, actually, yesterday I played Awoken Default Melting. The key difference in that run, of course, is I started with Wicklash, and I was able to use it to empower my run. You might not see something in this run that lets you go crazy like that, right? So you may have other challenges. But yeah, we're currently fighting Plating Sealed Daedalus, Spell Shield Arcus, and Chaste Seraph. Chaste. Interesting. Okay. With Steel Enhancer, Entombed Explosive, and Restoring Retreat. Explosive is great right now. I love that. It's a really good starting card. The other cards are fine. Steel Enhancer is good enough. Restoring Retreat is, well, bad. I don't like that card. It's too expensive. I think with 1 Ember I might consider it more regularly, but the big challenge is lowering a unit is worse than raising a unit. And compare this to something like Dripfall, right? Which has a much more... what's the right way of saying that? It has a much more impactful offensive presence, which is one of the main reasons you would want to use a Descend, right? You're basically kicking it down the road in order to deal with it later, but you can also use it to stop curses and things like that, right? Whereas Restoring Retreat is more expensive and actually heals the enemy, but most likely you're going to be casting it on a unit that has not taken damage, and therefore it does nothing. So it's just a really bad drip fall that you see as an uncommon, pretty much. Anyway, let's look ahead before I get too ahead of myself. Temples on 2, 4, 5, and 7, a decent enough spread. Dupe on 8 with the steel shop, that looks fine to me. Removals on the magic side, it's a pretty good removal side, we'll see if we can use it. We have removal dupe on 7 with money, that's strong. Opposite that, we have a steel shop with a caverns though, we'll see what we need. Good magic shop on 6, steel shop opposing that. Let's see, no steel on 5, dupe on 4 with a remnant banner and some money. Kind of a trashy ring 4. You don't even have a shop. That's tough. And then we have double steals in the early game with an Awoken banner. So it's interesting because I genuinely think, just from what I'm seeing right now, you probably want to hunt this remnant banner on ring 2 if you don't see any other units, because you have nothing in this run that scales offensive, and you can't rely on anything on the Awoken side to do so. But yeah. I'm going to click Advanced Prototype 10 times out of 10. Capricious Reflection is very good here, but one of Sentient's biggest weaknesses is the early game, and Advanced Prototype not only provides value now, it provides value later. I really like this here. Yeah, Capricious Reflection is really strong, but you could also see some trashy things coming out of these banners. It's actually the best time to see Capricious Reflection, in my opinion, is at ring 3 after you've selected your units. I would love to see all of my spells with a free upgrade, but not my units usually, because you can run into situations where you get a 10 health and 3 spikes on your carry, and you're looking at that going, that's not great. Anyway, Advanced Prototype is excellent. Cultivating Bristling. You know, strong argument for Reform Sentient here. Strong argument for Reform Sentient. Cultivating is good, though. I like Cultivating because it face tanks for some weaker units as well, which might exist on this run. Bristling is good, don't get me wrong. Very good, in fact. Being able to reform Bristling is really strong, though, right? It also gives it some value into Chase, where she gets her spikes cut. Yeah. Certainly, just Bristling in general into Chase is not amazing, but because you can reform her, she gets all of her spikes back. I'm interested in this decision. I genuinely believe that if you can get Endless on Spike Sentient, she's wicked and so strong. I've done it a couple times where you see the wheel, and you can keep her alive and you keep your run alive long enough to get Endless on Sentient, and she's nuts. She's like, she's like Titan Sentry, but better, genuinely. It's just really hard to get Endless on a champion. You have 2 options, the Remnant Pact and then some kind of endless cheeky nonsense. You could certainly also do it with Votive Key. You have options in this clan for it, right? So, but, being able to reform her is also pretty good, though a little slow. I'm just going to go Cultivating because I think the draw helps me a lot here, and I am a little concerned about my offensive scaling right now. Yeah, I'll take money, of course. Move on. Let's see, unit draft. I'm going to leak here. Oh no, I'm actually probably fine thanks to Advanced Prototype. We just drop those dudes and they're going to crush. Well, that's a turn. Here, have some regen. Champion and double... It's wild. Champion and double restores is pretty tragic. I will play the Steel Enhancer. I'm going to bomb mid-floor, which is good. Cool. We should leak 1 up top, yeah. I could stop it. How does this Train Steward look middle, huh? He kills a man, that's pretty good. I could actually get 2 kills if I put the Steel Enhancer in, which I think is worth it. I can stop the incoming damage up top. Huh. I actually would like Sentient to get hit here, but it buffs the explosive. It's not great, but I do strongly appreciate killing that unit when I can. He kills 2. We can primitive mold the lad back. Or I could just play the new one, right? Cool. Play the new one. Entombed explosive. Train Steward on bottom is pretty good. He punches a bunch through. Cool. And I mean, when you do something like this, you don't take any damage on the floor. There's no reason to leak that one if you don't need to, right? Like, there's absolutely no reason to do anything that cheeky. Yeah, we actually win on this floor because Train Steward is too strong. Amazing. Vine Grasp. I do want a ping. This is a ping. And like hell am I taking another Restoring Retreat. It's fine. Molded is pretty decent. Purifying Cleanse, huh? Interesting. Burnout Extenders are tempting here, right? Because you can see some cool burnout lines. Purifying Cleanse is pretty good, right? I think I'm going to take a Burnout Extender here. I'm leaning towards Purifying Cleanse. I think. Yeah, let's do that. Let's keep that open. Okay, so Big Sludge is... Yes. It's too bad I can't take a Shattered Shell and a Big Sludge. So now we just go Big Sludge. We go to the Awoken banner. We hit either a Sweeper or an Animus of Will. I mean, it's got to be the Sludge here. Just 100% has to be. We definitely go left now. Merchant of Steel says, oh my gosh, multi-strike. Okay. Animus, well, I mean... Yeah, right? We just play Sludge normally, I suppose. It's pretty darn good. I don't have to make this commitment now, is an important point. But I do want to take this multi-strike in the shop. 3 hits is really good, right? This'll do. This is fine. We're going to just take this. I'm actually just on board with this. We give him the multi-strike. Considering... You could go the other way. That is pretty dope too, right? The other way being Big Sludge into the Animus. The advantage of doing this is a few things. One, it's 1 cost. That's nice. Same space requirement. You get an extra multi-strike, but you also start at a non-zero attack. Obviously, the big challenge is how do you get started, but I think you can make this work. We start at, 27 lower HP, so we have to replace this with a plus 25 instead of something like a double multi-strike. But finding a plus 25 is considerably easier than finding a second multi-strike. We may not even see another multi-strike in this run, so... Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this Animus multi-strike choice, putting in the Big Sludge. We only have to kill like 1 dude. Let me look for a plus 25 here. Okay, we didn't see it. I don't need that quick. In fact, I think the quick is wrong. I would much rather see the Sentient get hit. We are going to do this infusion now, though, because that's pretty powerful. Intrinsic? No. I mean, you could do some cheeky Restoring Retreat stuff, take space and drop in a second one. I mean, that's good-ish. Let me vaguely think about this. Where are my dupes? Intrinsic, Restoring Retreat. I'd need Ember too because they're so expensive. I guess maybe you could take a -1 in it, so it's 3 Ember cost. Play middle. Huh, I would need some help to get the initial kills, but once you got rolling, this would crush. I don't love this. I also don't love being 45 shards in a ring too here. With my commitment, I'm going left for the Merchant of Steel. I want to see a plus 25, maybe overflow it. Yeah, alright, so we will move on for now. Okay. Yeah, we're fine. This is actually really good. Sure, sure. Sentient. Big Animus. Sure. Play the spike thing in the back. Looking good. Train Steward on the middle. I really would like to hit the bottom floor. How many? Let's see. 1, 2, then 7, 5. I mean, guy gets crushed if I do that, yeah. Which is okay. I didn't actually mean to click that. I wanted to put that in the middle. Well. Oh well. Not ideal. I lost that collector for no real reason. That is unreal. Unbelievable. Let's see. I do need some restores in the back here. Sure. I can make some good progress downstairs with Train Steward, and an explosive here. Yeah. Looks fine. Yeah, I mean, we're actually just chilling. I lost that collector, man. Oh, that's so annoying. Lost the frickin' collector for no real reason. Didn't mean to click it. Ah, it's so frustrating. 50 gold. That's gonna cost me, huh? I should take Razor Sharp. Initial scaling is good. If I lose by 50 gold, I'm gonna be very sad. I think I actually want to take another Purifying Cleanse, maybe? I don't want to lean into Burnout in my back floor. So let's take the Purifying Cleanse. This is good. We go left here. I want a plus 25 very badly. Just give me the plus 25. Oh my god, another multi-strike? That's too risky, huh? Look, do I need 5 hits on the floor? No, I don't. 3 HP, we almost lost on ring whatever that was. Yeah, give me this plus 25, please. This is considerably better. Immortal Stone? With money? Yeah, okay. You got me. I'll do it. Endless Burnout 1. I'll probably send the Entombed Explosive to Self-Infuse here. We'll look for a temple now. I will actually trade here for big money. I don't need that much health. I basically just converted this Pyre Remains into 150 gold, which is pretty good. True. Alright, looks solid. I'm happy to leave my Train Stewards in for the moment. Yeah, cool. All we really need to do is hit, like, 1 enemy kill, and we're chilling. Seems good to me. Oh no, I got bombed. It's fine. Oh no, I'm getting bombed again. Honestly, it's fine. Sure. I mean, getting bombed does kind of suck, don't get me wrong, but we're okay. I can just hit 1 enemy and it swings this whole thing around. We play an Endless Entombed Explosive. It's huge. Honestly, I play both. We kill a man in the front, which is ridiculously good. I am stealing a few kills here, but it'll be okay. That floor was pretty scary. We're fine with it, yeah? Play restores. I will... 34 by 4? I mean, it's correct to actually just not play this Entombed Explosive, huh? Get him out of there. It's actually funny. I just let them all walk, and it is better. Yeah. You just let them all walk, and it is way better here. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good. Yeah, fun. I might want to kill this Foot soldier, huh? Yeah, probably. Uh... Here's what I could do. You kill my own unit, and then I bring him back. We do 30 here. We give him a burnout. Sure, sure. Yeah. It's good because we get so much scaling from the back. I just need to keep my Sentient alive here is the only real concern. Here, have an Entombed Explosive. It's pretty decent. What's coming up? You take the restore. I will... It's correct. You do the Entombed Explosive here. You do the other one. Yeah, and then you play the thing in the back for another 30. It does kind of suck getting that 9x2 hitting the Sentient, but it's okay. We'll get through it, right? Yeah, we're fine. It's fine. No worries. Cool, cool, cool. Intent on Death. Devour of Death is the hit. Yep. Incredible. Don't need these units. We're fine. We skip for money. What am I taking? Draw is pretty good here, but Ember's okay. I can just go and make things cheaper. What would I dupe if I went left here, huh? Nothing, really? Probably go to the removals, I guess. Yeah, you might as well. I'm going to take draw because I just need magic shops now. Magic. I can get 4 -1s here, which are pretty good. I am playing an Entombed Explosive every turn, so Ember is pretty strong. I don't have to do that now, though. I have Sentient, right? I'm going to take the Ember because I have Sentient. We're already drawing 6 rather, which is an important point. I'm going to go to the right because I value removals more than this dupe right now. Yes. Board says, oh, Grindstone is nice. Giving her a little bit of oomph is pretty good. Huh, chest plates or Grindstone? It's gotta be... Man, one single kill outscales that +5. I'm going to take the hammered chest plates, actually. With the burnout 1 on my dude, it's just fine. Yeah, we'll take the HP. I'm good with that. Every little bit helps there. We are going to do the Devour infusion here, which is huge. Excellent. -2, no intrinsic. Second time we're showing it? Don't think so. We're going to just go all in on cultivating here for sure. I want big HP, and any scaling is good. Then I think we're cutting the other... the other Entombed Explosive is fine. He's a good reform target. So we can drop 2 Train Stewards here, I believe. It's too bad we didn't get Broken Wheel here. That would have been disgusting. Yeah, sure. Train Steward, I think. We'll leave in a couple. Yeah, and we're already at 70 shards here, so let's go ahead and not go too much harder, and we'll move on. Yeah, that's fine. Mark of Invasion is pure positive for us because Sentient gets punched, which is also harvests. Yeah, we're super fine with that. We're guaranteed. This wins the combat for us, actually, right? Which is incredible. Huge. And then you just put the Train Steward down and get him shot, and it's fine. Excellent. We're already scaling to a really good point here. Okay, here's the deal. I want this collector, so I'm going to Razor Sharp one of the enemies here, which gives me enough 4 hits. You could also have gotten this by Razor Sharping the Sentient here, but whatever. I want to protect Sentient to the best of my ability. Yeah, this is really good scaling. Ooh, buddy, love to see it. This explosive just cruises here, right? So good. Take the regen. Let's see, 94 by 2. I mean, I'm fine just letting this floor walk, right? I mean, I won't walk completely. I'll put the explosive downstairs, actually. It does a lot of work. We'll let these guys walk. We're fine. Just focus on regen. My only question now is keeping Sentient alive, which is a non-obvious thing, but is still good. We'll burn out the explosive. I do want to bring back the train steward. I'll give it some healing. I'm going to shoot the Sentient for scaling. Seems good. And we just make bottom floor exist continually. Looks good to me. Take the regen. Fine. Honestly, pretty decent. We will just continue Entombed Explosive. Restore, restore, restore. Fine. Sure. And we're chilling. Cool. Good. Yeah, very nice. Alright, neat. This will suffer against Chased, by the way. Ensnare is a really good pickup here. I was going to say Ensnare is a solid one, but I would also have taken this Preserved Thorns, but I will grab the Ensnare as a result. This lets me lock something down and guarantee that Sludge gets the kill, which I value. Oh, resin removal, huh? Also, Votavary surprisingly good here. If I take space, you put her in front, get shot, get rage. Huh. Votavary, yeah? Eventually what I would do, though, is I would take space and play the Devourer in front of the Animus, so I don't think it is Votavary here. I'll take resin removal. This card is nuts. Good. Okay. Now, there are hits here. Magic Shop, good. Vortex, with money and a Trinket Shop, good as well. There are a lot of very strong pickups. Double Extinguish is a super GG. I'm gonna go right. We just hit this Trinket Shop, see what they show us. Sap Tap is just straight up a draw relic here. Excellent. I'm gonna flip this. Oh baby, Root Split Mask. Root Split Mask is pretty wildly powerful here, yeah? Yeah, it's going to be Train Steward out, Train Steward out. I no longer require their assistance. You see, though, this advanced prototype completely enabled me to go this route and just feel confident into the early game. Really strong. Tenon Piercing Vine Grasp is pretty okay, actually. That's true. I do like it. -2, still no great hits here. I'm not putting it in a Restoring Retreat. Yeah, sure, Vine Grasp at 10 and Piercing is fine. And we'll chill. I don't mind going to 80 here, especially with a Root Split Mask. That's really good. But this definitely does seem like a run where I'm going for space here, yeah? Space, I mean, not draw, because I have double draw relics. One of them is called Sentient, and one of them is called Sap Tap. So I can take other things, and then that will let me consolidate my bomb on the same floor, which is, as it turns out, very powerful. Okay, I do think we want to soften it up a bit. We'll draw. Cool. I do want to play Mr. Bomb. This softens up this floor. Good. I will play the Restore as well. Yeah, sure. Just having the regen matters. Cool. Good. Play the Restore. Play the Restore. We bomb. And bomb again, I think. It does get a kill. That's okay. I'm happy to trade that. That's fine. That is fine. Cool. I'm going to heal upstairs. We steal Enhancer. Honestly, good argument for ensnaring in the back in this front here, which puts the Clip Defender to another floor. I then wish to 164. I'll give the Razor Sharp upstairs. I think we just send it downstairs. That's pretty strong. And I could kill a man. I'm just going to shoot this Master of Light and take the few damage there. That's fine. Cool. I can now play Entombed Explosive here, which steals a kill, but it's okay. There's a serious argument for eventually doing, like, Purifying Cleanse cheekiness here, but I don't think it's yet. Don't think it's yet. We're okay. We're getting to the point where we're scaling very rapidly. And I can use these bombs to kind of bide time as well. Restore, Steel Enhancer, Explosive here. We put this one in front. Shoot this thing with a Vine Grasp. I will take the Ensnare, just because. Okay, we do it again. Primitive Mold. 16. This friend goes in front. Then you play the other one in back. We give it the Purifying Cleanse. Ah, resin removal. High roll, baby. High roll, baby. Cool. Neat. All right, we're fine. Good stuff. Draw and play regen. It's good. Shoot the enemy. Neat. Resin removal is a very strong card, huh? Fire Shards, Invigorating Solution, Cycle of Life. No, Cycle of Life is not it on this run, I don't think. I just don't think so. Nah, we're fine. Move on. Crushing Demise is nice. Aw, man. Remnant Pact. You could have gone Spike Sentient, yo. Done the Endless. I still don't think it's correct. Crushing Demise is nice, but I have answers, right? Root Split Mask plus Ensnare. I don't actually think I need it on this run. We just chill and move on. Take the money. I will go Magic Shop here for sure. I want -1s. Permafrost is cute. You could Permafrost Resin Removal. You could have done the Intrinsic Permafrost Restoring Retreat, huh? I just don't think so, man. I just don't think so. I still could do it. You could still do it. It's true. I want a -1 plus 10 restore, by the way. Yeah, every little bit matters here. Cool. Am I gonna do this? Duplicate this thing? It requires you set up middle, which means I can't play the bomb on that floor. I just don't think so. No, I'm gonna take space and then I'm gonna play the bomb on that floor. Right? Purge, huh? I mean, what if I Restoring Retreat? Consume? I'd rather just spend 60 gold. I don't even want to play it with 20 consume, right? That's just genuinely bad. These Purifying Cleanses have gotten in the way now that I know what my run looks like, by the way. Which is unfortunate, but kind of is what it is. Serious consideration, by the way, for taking that Endless and putting it on Sentient, so if she does just get melted, we're fine. I don't know. I didn't do it. Is that a mistake? Maybe. Maybe. It's hard to say. I do get removals, too, which is good. Give me Caverns nonsense. Monster Rail Spike. I actually think blowing up the other one is probably pretty good. Oh, but I can just make Restoring Retreat Purge here, yeah? Incredible. Goodbye, Restoring Retreat. Cool. Horde says, sure. Cursed Vines is a good pickup for a lot of reasons. You can just shoot the Sentient to scale the Animus, which is really good. I'm going to take these removals here. And honestly, I think it's dropping 2 primitive molds. You never want to remove them all. It's not good to do so, but we can clean this up a bit and get down to 3. We're looking pretty good. 23 cards in the deck. Feeling pretty strong about this. I could buy a Purge if I wanted to. One advantage, if I get low enough on draw, as opposed to, you know, few enough cards, rather, is the way I should say that, you could reliably play this Purifying Cleanse, right? You could Reform her and then immediately Purifying Cleanse her. which is pretty good, actually. It's true. I'm looking for ways to improve her survivability. I really should have taken that Endless, huh? Now that I'm thinking back to it. That's a mistake skipping that, I'm thinking so. Yeah, whatever. We're okay for now. We might see it again, maybe. If not, it's fine. I do think I should have grabbed that, though, as a backup solution, right? See, you just shoot her, which gives that scaling, which is good. There's my top floor extinguish. Fine. We do Entombed Explosive bottom. It's cool. Sure, I want to burn this card out. I do also want to purge it. It's fine. Here, we play one restore. We accept the... Do I? I don't know. I don't think it matters. We're just going to let it go. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. There's no reason for me to do what I was doing there. We do want to resin removal the boss for sure. 10 times out of 10 here. I'll just self-Vine Grasp again. Play Restore, it's good. Resin removal middle is huge. Restore. Yeah, should have grabbed that Endless. For sure. There's a couple mistakes I've made on this run I'm dwelling on a little bit, but should have done that. What if I just shoot her for another bit? It's honestly not bad. We take these. It's fine. I'm just shooting my own champion, which is a-okay with me. Let's see, we split this up a little bit. I take the restore. Fine. Seems good. Sure. Let's see. Yeah, big restore incoming. Glad to see that. Another restore, steel enhancer, razor sharp. We keep the scaling going. I guess I shoot my own unit. It's fine. I could primitive mold back the other entombed explosive, which we like to see. I want to get these kills on other floors, though. Yeah. This will be acceptable. Of course, then I immediately steal everything from that floor, but it's fine. Sure, good. Restore, strong, restore. We self-ping. Doesn't really matter. I don't need the bomb anymore either, which is good. Serious consideration with the Purifying Cleanse, huh? We're pretty darn close to getting it through, yeah? I really like this 15 health. Huh. It's pretty good. And I'm not playing a holdover or an endless card now, so I think I can get away with it, which is pretty cool. I guess I should have shot that 13 into the boss, but whatever. It's got to be correct. We're guaranteed. I only have 16 cards in the deck. Yeah, we're fine. This helps, actually. I think this helps a lot. Yeah, like, we are fine. I will primitive mold back a bomb. You may as well take these 50s. Sure. You ping. We restore. We ensnare. Razor sharp. We keep it going. I guess I play the bomb out. There's no reason not to. Take that 50. Yeah, looks fine. Cool. Nice. Yeah, cool. Honestly, great. 1 hit, 2 hits. There's a 3rd hit there, but we get the kill there. Yeah, she was fine on Burnout too, which is great news. I do think it's really worth it to take Adaptive Mutation here, because I have Big Sludge, Value, and we take Draw. I mean, Space. I almost said Ember there too. I want the bomb on my floor. Right? Just bomb on the floor is good. I might genuinely... Huh. What if you duplicate Adaptive Mutation? I'm gonna go left because removals are good and I don't see a lot of value on the right. Forge says cultivating 3. I mean, give her big HP is really what it comes down to. 165 is huge. Love to see it. As I genuinely consider Spell Chain into my Purifying Cleanse, it's not bad. You know it, it's not bad. Entombed Explosive number 2 is worth keeping in this run just because it gives me something to do with these primitive molds. It keeps them having value. We're almost at the point where I think the steel enhancers might be wrong, yeah? I'm not relying on regen, by the way. It's not regen. We're going to be doing Adaptive Mutation at this point, so I should actually cut a Restore. It's pretty rough. I want enough that I can get regen for Sap Tap, but I don't need anything else, really. I'm going to cut a Steel Enhancer. These are kind of pointless after a certain point. And then Spell Chain. Am I going to Spell Chain a Purifying Cleanse? This is actually a really good heal for her. It's actually really good. Although, I could also just stay lower on Pack Shards. I don't think this adds enough value, yeah? What would you dupe? Honestly, serious consideration for the -1 +10 restore here. Just another decent heal is pretty good. Replace the bad ones with the good ones. How many cards do I have? 21. Drawing 6. I'm going to the magic shop next. I'm pretty confident because what else do I need from a steel shop? The answer is nothing. And the dupe, I'm already struggling with a dupe here. What am I going to dupe there, right? If this were a -2, I would put this in and then duplicate the Adaptive Mutation, but it's tough. I definitely don't want to Spell Chain this thing and duplicate it. That's wrong. Intrinsic, I mean, I don't think so, right? Adaptive Mutation can just chill. I only need the 1. Gives me like 300 HP once you get strong enough. Yeah, it's fine. We don't need 2, we need the 1. I'm going to dupe really the bad Restore. Or the good Restore, rather. It's interesting. If I'm considering this Restore, I really should just consider another Purifying Cleanse. And then just play these every single turn I see them. Because that's 9 Burnout on a draw through, which is plenty for Sentient, right? Too bad I didn't put a +10 in there, huh? If I had anticipated this direction, I might have. I probably could have anticipated this direction if I'd given it a little more time, but it's kind of one of the downsides of recording for YouTube. I just don't have the time. Well, I have the time, but I don't want to waste all of yours time. You know what I'm trying to say. All of your all's time. Yeah. I really like this big Restore, but if I'm thinking about this, Purifying Cleanse is just good. Yeah, let's grab another Purifying Cleanse. And this lets me just play them all, which is cool. I take the Horde at the end to go to 110, and we chill. Cool. Mark of Invasion is a pure positive. Love to see it. That is actually just scaling. Sentient, Animus. I even get the resin removal here to save the Ember Drain. Excellent. I can self-ping. And then restore. And restore. Awesome. Huge scaling. We're already doing 240s. Love to see it. Vine Grasp. Oh, yeah, Entombed Explosive upstairs, by the way. Although, right now, we're not going to do that. Yeah, when you play the bomb with it, you want the bomb to take the hits, but on this floor in particular, it's significantly better for me to just not do that. So we do want the bomb, so here, I'm going to play it middle and we'll just steal a bunch of kills, but that'll be okay. We definitely clear this next dude. I want the collector and I want to hold over this man, so that's something. Here we purge. I will just shoot scary guy, I guess. Whatever. Oh man, good scaling from that hit. Love to see it. Cool, and now you'll see what I mean. We're just doing Vine Grasp in front. I do Purifying Cleanse, Sentient here constantly. And then we put Entombed Explosive in front, which dies, which scales the floor, and provides value by clearing the backlines. Yeah, and then you just put Purifying Cleanse into Sentient literally every time you see it now. What does this adaptive mutation look like? Ooh, buddy, that's good. Cool. Bomb in front, right? Excellent. Should have Purge hit myself first, but it's okay. May as well reform. Leave him in. I don't want to steal these hits. Fine. Sure. It's honestly great. We get extra scaling this way. Very good. We self-smack. And restore. It's good. Here's that last steel enhancer. I mean, am I going to actually shoot her on her own? Probably not. This looks much more different once I actually... Yeah, here, I am going to self-shoot, and then I'm going to put the bomb in front here, which swings this around in a big way. Cool. Honestly, great. 80 rage, feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, and then we just keep self-shooting. Here's a Purifying Cleanse, Restore, Ensnare, Bomb swings this hugely. Cool. So much rage, you love to see it. I'm going to Resin Removal the boss and just neuter it. We self-ping, Restore, 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 and then you play the Explosive again. I will play the bomb downstairs, why not? Seems good to me, right? Yeah, we're way ahead of the curve on scaling here, which is excellent. And we have plenty of burnout here. We're going to do the adaptive mutation now, because that's just GG. And you play the explosive, we shoot the explosive, and then we ping the champion. Why not? And we super win. And by super win, I mean wow, we win. Incredible. Just unbelievable. That back unit trounces everything. Excellent news. Bramblelash, no thank you. Wildwood Custodian, no thank you. Restoring Retreat, hell no. You know what? I'll take the Remnant Pact. Yeah, second time around, sure. That was a mistake skipping it the first time, I think. We didn't need it, but it's fine. I'm going to the magic shop here because there's actual value to be had here. I can take the Horde to reach 110. Split Anvil is rarely good, only on the adaptive mutation turn. Guild Marker here makes my gold go much further, and I have no stings, so sure, make my gold go further. Melting Spout is genuinely bad. Trader's Quill, no. Hell's Banners, no. Don't care. I'm going to remove cards. I need to be very cautious with what I cut here. Let's re-roll the Trinket Shop. Waxer Snuffer is disgusting. Combustible Wax, honestly, is also disgusting here. What does Lightstone Casing get me, huh? Anything? No, nothing fancy. Is there a Permafrost here? There is. I'm going to Permafrost Adaptive Mutation to always have it on lock. And then -1, +10, another Restore, which I value quite a bit. Just make them stronger. I should just cut cards. With the Endless, I don't need primitive molds, right? I cut the explosive and the primitive molds here, pretty much. Yeah, right? Yeah. We cut double primitive molds. I'll leave one in case of, I don't know, nightmares. Steel Enhancer's pretty bad, too. Let's just be honest with you there. Primitive molds are just dead, though. Yeah, okay, I'm going to cut those. I'm going to come into the magic shop. We're going to cut the non-endless explosive. I mean, he's okay. Okay? Like, with the one primitive mold and the bomb, he's fine. He's actually... Should I keep him? He's pretty good. He softens things up. Gives me a little bit of density on this Entombed Explosive. Alright, you convinced me. I keep him. So what do I remove, then? One of these bad restores? I mean Steel Enhancer, isn't it? Yeah, we cut Steel Enhancer for 50 gold. That's pretty good. We consider grabbing this combustible wax because it's hard to say no to this, right? This just guarantees that we never have problems with this. It causes problems with Entombed Explosive dying, though. Is that a problem? It might actually be a problem. I'm gonna not take combustible wax because I have 3 purifying cleanses here. We're okay. Man, I can really shrink my deck here. Yeah, let's re-roll this shop. Double stack. I could also just solve this with a double stack on a purifying cleanse. I have the money for this. I mean, you know, it's not bad. Could 20 consume one of these restores? I have 2 decent ones. The regen is not the important part here at all. Sure, actually, right? Sure. And then... I mean, resin removal at a -1 is pretty good unless I feel like double stacking a purifying cleanse. But what am I removing? What am I doing here? I guess I do cut the Entombed Explosive Primitive Mold here. Just shrink my deck so I'm guaranteed to see the correct bomb on the right turn. I mean, yeah, actually, we're going to cut more. Primitive Mold is now gone. I have the Endless. I'm going to get rid of this Entombed Explosive. He's now dead to me. 18 cards I'm drawing through in 3 turns, which is really strong. I can remove even more. -1 a resin removal. This guarantees some value, right? Means I can play it on turns where I don't have... This is on turns where I get Ember Drained by Chaste's Pyre Wings. Although that's only ever going to be 2 Ember lost, and I already have 4, so it's not that bad. I mean, I'll take it. Am I going to Purifying Cleanse double stack here? It's not terrible, I suppose. What else even is there? Not taking Combustible Wax. Lightstone Casing is definitely not it. I don't have enough hits here. I mean, sure, I guess I buy 2 removals, right? Weird. Weird. Alright, I mean, I'll get rid of Bad Restore. Sure. Our deck is getting cut to the point where I'm fine just really, really shrinking it. I'm at a stage where I could actually remove another Purifying Cleanse if I were concerned about this. I draw through my deck so fast. 9 Burnout is excessive. And if she does die, she just comes back. I mean, okay, yeah, I will cut a Purifying Cleanse, actually. 16 cards. I can now still take a -1 into resin removal. Might as well. Okay, man. Our deck is wicked good. Wicked good. 16 cards, draw 6. Space and Ember, double Extinguish triggers. I feel like we're definitely going to end this with more than 1 Pyre health. I'll just put it that way. I wouldn't call this blessed, but I feel like what I've done here has been super correct. I'm going to have to look at the challenge to see where they struggled. It might just be that they didn't feel confident taking that turn 1, that ring 1 trial, yeah? Missing that trial means you don't see big sludge or a sweeper. I think you could even take a sweeper there and be fine. So, 110, let's go. Good stuff. Really good stuff, honestly. I feel strong. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sentient. Animus. I shoot myself here. We restore it back. I do get the Remnant Pact on turn 1. May as well play the Purifying Cleanse. Sure, get that going. Seems good to me. Now, she is going to get cut a little bit, but that's okay. We scale very fast here. And by very fast, I mean extremely fast. I want to cut the resin removal on the lifesteal. And then we take Entombed Explosive just because I might as well get more scaling. Big Sludge outscales this is one of the important kind of takeaways that you need to understand here. Big Sludge certainly gets there. We just self-shoot. I will restore it. I will Purifying Cleanse it. I will Razor Sharp the back. I will Entombed Explosive here. Huge swing. Look at that swing. And that is so much rage pickup. Honestly, great. We still self-ping here. We heal. We keep it going. Resin removal. I'm going to take out the regen on that dude down below, I suppose. Incoming Entombed Explosive. Huge. Regen. Regen. Goodbye. Enemy regen. Cool. I need to focus up on the scaling upstairs because Chased is scary. So every little bit I can do to help get scaling here is worth it. For sure. And then when I see a good opportunity, I slam the Adaptive Mutation. But it's not yet, right? It's not yet. Okay, keep it up. Razor Sharp, good. Vine Grasp, self-shoot. Vine Grasp, self-shoot. Draw, draw. Entombed Explosive upstairs. Swing this entirely. Nothing for me to hit with the resin removal here. True. True, true, true. This is the last cut upstairs, which is good. Ensnare, we self-ping, we draw, we Razor Sharp, we draw, we, Purifying Cleanse, and we play the Explosive, huge. We actually put damage through to the boss here, which is really good. No more cuts, so I need to just pick up the pace pretty much. Let's see, I would value some healing in the back, I suppose. No adaptive yet, for sure. I will drop the spikes on mid-floor, good. I should consider, I'm going to take this 10 healing in the back, actually, I think it's good. And then I will, of course, play the bomb. Bomb, good. Good. Every little bit matters. We're going to Adaptive Mutation on the floor with the boss almost certainly. We self-ping, restore, Purifying Cleanse, restore. We vaguely look at this scaling. We look pretty good. We play bomb. I'd love to see it. Cool. This looks bad. Oh, actually, we just straight up win as is. Unreal. Wow, okay. I mean, yeah, I guess so. I'm just going to click Adaptive Mutation because it turns out 262 HP is very powerful. We actually lose Sentient from that, which is very funny. That is actually quite funny. But it doesn't matter. We do... I mean, we self-shoot here. I guess it doesn't actually... It's not correct to. Entombed Explosive, why not? Huh, nice. Cool. Good stuff. Great news. Actually, Sentient lives. Tons of power in the back. That unit in the back 100% wins. Incredible. Chased is considerably scarier than the Divinity. And we cruise, I believe. Strong cruise. Oh, buddy, really good about that. Really glad with this run. I feel like we navigated this well, and I'm reasonably confident. This all goes back to just picking up advanced prototype, you know? Also, turn 1 Devourer is an outrageous pickup, in fact. I will accept the Ember Drain because I have the resin removal to get rid of it. Yeah. This lets me immediately scale Animus here, which I value quite a bit. And then, of course, you get the Entombed Explosive, resin removal, fine. Burnout Blast, it's good. We click the Restore here. We self-ping first, then we restore. We're going to start Purifying Cleansing in front. Ensnare. I think it's worth it to get the scaling ASAP, so we don't do anything nonsense. We just drop this bomb and get it shot. I actually would rather have the HP here, but I do want to get this bomb killed, right? It's fine. I trade a little bit here, but it's okay. Because unfortunately, it means with the sweep, the bomb is getting the +3s. But that's okay. This is a good turn. We get Remnant Pact on Sentient. Definitely need to Purifying Cleanse her. Yup. I self-ping here. I will heal in the back. It is correct to do so. I do want to get rid of spikes downstairs. Value. And then we just, you know, drop Entombed Explosive and this crunches, right? True. Huge value. Huge. Immediately we're seeing value from having more than 3 HP in the back, right? I skipped a multi-strike for it, and I think I still would do it again. 10 times out of 10. Let's split off the Protector here. Let's split off Spikes, dude, maybe? Not really sure about that, in fact. Just giving it some consideration. I actually don't think I need to do anything too cheeky here, right? We just self-shoot and it's fine. We take the Purifying Cleanse to draw. We self-shoot and it's still fine. We heal in the back. Right? I mean, this is okay. We then bomb. Good. Incredible. So much rage. The fact that it's not getting cut is also humongous here. Top floor looks kind of bad, in fact, but it's okay. We take the self-ping. I will actually heal her now. Razor Sharp. Am I going to go for the mutation? Nah, I can do better. Razor Sharp. I get rid of this curse. I do want to put the bomb in front. Huge swing. Oh, that's so strong. Amazing. Let's drop. Spikes on front, lifesteal? Sure. Hold on to adaptive mutation. Good. Incredible. Incredible scaling. So much value. Big Sludge Infusion is excellent. Love to see it. I need to heal in front. She's actually taking a truckload of damage here, which is kind of scary. Razor Sharp. Contrition here. I self-ping one. Bomb in front. I then shoot my own thing in front here. I vaguely consider... We're not going to do the adaptive mutation yet. That's basically the hard commit, right? Yeah. Give me a resin removal, please. Turns out resin removal is a disgustingly good card. Look at that. So much value. Wow. Purifying Cleanse. Restore. She's endless even if she died. How's that adaptive mutation looking? Still pretty darn good. But I have no issues just simply keeping it going, right? I'm not compelled in any meaningful way. Sure. Fine. Honestly, great. I'm going to use the adaptive mutation if it ever looks like she might die, or if, you know, I don't know, something else happens. Like, this is fine. Just heal. Self-ping, it's good. Restore, good. Sure, resin removal, go remove a whole bunch of other stuff. Razor Sharp is solid here. Adaptive is a big swing, but again, no real reason to do it. It's true, no real reason to do it. Nice. Excellent. I do lose some Ember here, which is unfortunate, but fine. Oh no, it's okay. Purifying Cleanse. Big Restore. And then I do want to just ensnare a unit on this floor. Probably the tank. There's no reason to keep it. Sure, tank can just chill. I self-ping. I vaguely consider Adaptive Mutation. I mean, this Adaptive Mutation hardcore wins. Woof, that's so good. Instead, I will do it. The Shard and the Explosive. No worries. Does 1,000 damage to the boss as well, which is pretty good. Cool, and so we win even as is, by the way. But I am still going to click on Adaptive Mutation. Because as it turns out, that's ridiculously strong. Cool. Hey, look, we did it. Yeah, good stuff. Neat. It's 476 HP. Fun. Sentient lived all the way to the end. Didn't even need the Endless. It turns out I was right to skip it, but it doesn't matter. We took it on the second time through. No worries. No damage taken. It's going to be a good score. So I'm going to have to look at the run summary and see where the other player went awry, and then make some recommendations. What a good run. Glad to see it. These are the best kinds of curse seeds, in my opinion. And you feel free to share your opinion. I'm just gonna, before I even hit the run summary. Actually, let me get into the run summary first. We'll go to the challenge. Okay, so much better score, 56k. That's a convincing win. My favorite kinds of curse seeds are actually the runs that are just tricky to navigate, where a player sees it and goes, I'm not sure what to do here. But the run itself is not actually doomed, right? I think where the run itself has a very, I don't want to say even very powerful, but a good line, and you just struggled to see it, because these are really informative. There are runs where players who watch these videos can gain a lot of value, right? They go, I'm an average player looking to up my game. How do I convert these confusing, low-ish, with some strong element runs into convincing victories? And I think that's a really valuable element of this series. I really love these. They're also just enjoyable because I feel like I have a lot to tell you. I feel like I have a lot to provide in terms of value. Whereas if a run is really doomed, it turns out sometimes a run really is just that bad, and there's not much I can inform you other than, well, we're hedging our bets and we're trying to play the odds, and we're hoping for something to show up that solves the run, pretty much. That's not as informative as this one, where I feel like throughout the entire thing I could say, see, I made this choice for this reason to help me out in this way, and you can see how that snowballed me to where I am now, and yeah. So, fair. Anyway, let's talk this over. First things first, advanced prototype. One thing you should learn here is this makes you very, very, very strong in the beginning. I'm glad you took it, but the mistake I'm seeing is you skipped the 2 starting trials, right? You were way strong enough to grab both those trials. No worries. Advanced prototype 1v1s, both of those bosses. You don't even need banner units. So that's really good. This means you saw the Animus, right? And you saw the second Animus later, or you self-duped it, but you never saw the big sludge. And just seeing that unit draft is huge. And this is something you see me harp on a lot in my series when I'm just playing, is I will trade all but 1 pyre health for a unit draft if I need it. If I'm ever in a stage of the run where I go, 1, this won't kill me, and 2, I don't have a secured line and infusion yet, I will click on those unit trials no matter how terrifying they are. The only requirement is I need to walk in and go, I'm not going to lose, right? I also value a unit draft higher than shards on ring 1, right? Some people will say, ah, yeah, I'm strong enough, I can take the ring 1 horde. Cool, that might be true. But ring 1 horde plus an armor trial, which is unit trial, by the way, on ring 1, that might kill you. And you might walk into that at 15 shards and go, oh no, if I take this unit trial and low roll an upgraded whatever it's called, the crossbow dude, right? Whatever his name is, the 9x2. If you roll an upgraded dude like that, you just straight up lose. So you have to skip the unit trial then all of a sudden, and that puts you so far behind. So it's one of the reasons why I just weigh that kind of stuff heavily in the early game, because being able to pick those up is huge. That changes the entire landscape of your run. Yeah, in your case, you were struggling with scaling, you didn't have the rage, so you couldn't take the adaptive mutation. Even still, I think there were things you could do to clean this up. You skipped, I think you should have just put the plus 25 in Animus, accepted the whole not needing 3 health thing. This is a real mistake, in my opinion. This is a super mistake putting the Endless here, because she just dies on sweep early, doesn't even get the scaling on Divinity. She even dies to Ember Wings, right? So, just put the plus 25 here. You put the Endless in the explosive. You take that, whatever it's called. Why am I forgetting his name? What's your name, bud? Devourer of Death. I almost called him Destroyer of Worlds, and I was like, he's not that good. Anyway, you take that, you put that in, and then you have this thing that is just incredible with the Waxer Snuffer later. It just clears a lot of your waves really strong. Obviously, since you're relying on Razor Sharp and Cultivate here, you're going to struggle on offensive scaling for sure. For sure. I bet you 114 damage taken on the Divinity. Wow, that is an incredible amount of damage taken. Extremely scary. Whereas my run, just tossing in this big sludge, is really, really good. I also think we could have just won not seeing Big Sludge and just taking a sweeper. We would have done Shattered Shell with the Animus of Will Infusion and put a multi-strike in it and been fine. Right? Honestly, with the hammered chest plates, you could have actually gotten away with multi-strike, which is kind of rare, but yeah, fair. That's pretty wild, actually. So, interesting. I also like finding ways to make Sentient come back. You could have done some disgusting spike stuff. There was a Petrified Crucible. You had the Endless in the run. You were able to clean up the draw, so you only have like 12 cards in the deck. Really good. Also, another great example of Cultivate Sentient plus 1 draw being so valuable. That plus Sap Tap meant I could just take Ember and Space Relics and do some disgusting things. Getting this bomb on the floor with the Harvest is enormous. So, honestly, all things considered, a great run. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention. Self-pinging with Cursed Vines is huge. You ended up not taking that. I think you took the Split Anvil instead. Strong argument for just self-pinging with Cursed Vines. This is a net neutral if Sentient buffs herself. Technically, you gain 3 attack on Sentient, but that's not that big of a deal. But if you scale something else with it, this is a really good trade. I'm always happy to trade 3 health on Sentient for a +3/+3, basically a steal enhancer into my carry. So, honestly, amazing. Curse Vines is so good here, and I basically shot myself with it every single time. It's actually one of the reasons why this version's buff of Cursed Vines compared to the base game's implementation of it is so strong. It's very flexible, especially with these revenge triggers. So, yeah, that's an excellent run of Monster Train. Really happy with this one. I feel like I provided a lot of information, a lot of value, and I also don't think it was obvious, right? There's ways that I play the game that make this feel very strong, and I think that getting yourself to the style of gameplay where you're doing similar things to me will be one of the best ways you can reach 100 wins in a row. So, anyway, that brings us up to 13 on the series, and I will let you go there. So, hey, thanks a lot for watching this. I really appreciate your time. As always, you can give the video a like or a dislike if you want. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and stay tuned for what's next. Take care, folks.